Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we've got another rec review from one of our community members, JTan the 7th. He's currently around 1300 elo and we're going to be reviewing his rec here as well. We've seen this guy fluctuate between 1300 and 1400, and let's see what he's got in store for us today here. And he's playing as the Gujaras here against the Ethiopians. Let's see what he can do. His Dark Age tends to be more or less fine, so we can play that at 2 times speed as we focus on some minor mistakes if they come up, and just try to finish up his, or just try to polish up his Dark Age for him if needed. And apologize for any background noise during that, so we should be good now. And he's going to be scouting around, bringing the sheep back for Gujaras, and he's going to stick them into the mill. Standard Gurjara start here. Okay. Actually, one thing that I recommend is actually pulling the boar earlier with the Gurjara. He's going to keep one sheep close by instead, and that's completely fine. Anything to keep like the food running is completely fine. Eating 1 or 2 sheep is also completely fine. You get kind of diminishing returns. I would even say like just having like 4 or 5 is completely good too. I usually put all 8s and then take 2 out later. But anything works, fine. For this civ. So far, so good. Good scouting here, actually. Really good scouting. We now see, actually, we reviewed a game of his earlier as well. This is a little bit better. He's got 3 golds. So you got 3 golds that you scouted. We see the stone. We're missing the secondary stone. Oh, sorry, it's not here. Oh, actually, we do see that as well. So we see pretty much everything, and now you can decide to lure deer or not. My recommendation, J-Town, I think you should lure deer with Gurjaras, and I hope you go for that. Nice, you're going for it. Perfect. No complaints about this Dark Age so far. Well done. Pushing in the deer. Yeah, and you usually need it just like you run out of boar and food early. So you can either pull sheep or go for, the deer. Also, similar to the last time, like the lumber camp, usually in the middle of the forest gets you most value. This is to the side of the forest, and you just end up chopping through a lot of the trees that you can go fast. It's just a little bit more efficient in the center of the forest. So like in this case, I'd much rather see you lumber camp here, wall there, and then buildings in front of the gold. It looks like you're securing a lot of ground, but it just helps you get the wall down and also secure gold, and then you just wall in a circle like this, or like straight to the edge of the map, and you'll be good to go. See the scouting on your opponent's base. Okay, once you scout the opponent, really cool tip, make a loop around your opponent. Find all of the resources and scout their map how you'd scout your map, basically in a circular motion. And oh, nice, you get the punish. Killed his scouts, and your scout actually did survive there. So well done there. Well done. And oh, are we doing the loop? We're doing the loop. Very nice. Sick. We're doing the loop. I like that. Okay, now we're gonna go for a few scouts. We got Bidax. Could definitely squeeze in Horse Collar. Yeah, cancel 2 builds and get Horse Collar and Scout build. It's definitely worth it. Let's focus on your aggression. Now we can actually slow it down since there's a little bit more action right now. See how you handle your Scout and Camel Rush. Oh, and we got opponent men-at-arms here. Okay. So a few men-at-arms from Ethiopians here. And they're going to try to put pressure on our base. But honestly, it's not going to do that much since we already, walled pretty well. I do love how you walled this one. I gave you a slightly better suggestion, but this is like the next best thing. So good ups there. You walled the perfect timing as well. Keep those men-at-arms out. Now it's all about getting some damage with our Scout Rush. So first of all, we already talked about Horse Collar, but yeah, I was going to say, I'd recommend you keep making scouts here for at least a little bit. But your opponent actually has 4 spears, so maybe we don't want too many scouts. But he's open still, so I think like you could get damage. Let's see how you handle the Scout Rush, Camel to block. Actually, while you're blocking, if you really want to be a pro, you can hit and then run away with the Camel. So hit, block, hit, a block, and you get extra damage. Little micro tip there, if you can incorporate it. Now we're bringing in. If you see too many spears, now I would stop making scouts, which you have done, which is perfect. And now you actually see the archers with a bunch of spears. So you got 2 choices. Either you stay on cavalry and you play towards like Sharamsha riders to counter archers, or you go for a range. In this particular case, there's only one correct answer. Wasting that scout, not the best. That's okay though. There's only one correct answer here, and it's going to be skirms, and I'm glad you went for it. Oh, Men arms broke in, or they came around, but didn't find damage. So we killed one Vil. We didn't lose a single Vil. Finish walling that. We're gonna go for the skirms. That's good. Our woodland is pretty inefficient though. This guy's walking around. This guy's walking far. So double check your woodland here and there. We're definitely lacking some wood right now. Now we go for the skirms. So the way you go for the skirms is you just make the range first. Start making the skirms. And if you need the blacksmith for fletching, you can go for it. But if you need to make a few more farms first, you don't need to make range and blacksmith at the same time. Because even a few skirms without fletching can easily clear this when you go scouts. So highly recommend you just go scouts into range for skirms and then just continue making a few farms unless you absolutely need fletching. It's kind of a myth that you need fletching to defend with skirms, because if you don't have fletching, you have just like 5-6 skirms. With a few scouts, you can easily clear this up no problem anyways. So on defense, general rule of thumb, highly value more skirms over the upgrade. Now we're getting pressured pretty hard, which wouldn't be a thing if we just had 3 more skirms. Oh, opponents can run into our towns that are here. This is good for us. We don't punish it in time, sadly. We might lose a Vil here. He did lose 2 spears for 1 Vil. Okay. And actually, the worst thing that's happening to us is the idle time. Idle time on the gold. We have to run back. It's more idle time. This is now idle because we got, like, you know, some units giving us problems. So what I would recommend is, like, you already attacked. You killed 1 Vil. Focus on defense. All right? Focus on defense. We don't need to be like the superhero that does both at once, attacking and defending constantly. Let's attack first, put some pressure, and now focus on defense. If you watch my games, I do this all the time as well. Sometimes I'll make it messy and I'll counterattack, but sometimes I play it chill and I just want to secure my gold, especially on this map. 3 golds forward. It's really not a great map, right? In this case, definitely keep your scouts at home and just focus on defense instead of making the game difficult for yourself. And like when you make the game difficult for yourself, usually you're making the game difficult for your opponent. But in this case, your opponent just runs back and focuses on defense, right? So game isn't really that hard for him to play at the moment. It's not too messy. And had you kept your scouts at home, you would have cleared those 4 archers. Now he gets away with them. And I don't think you got the value from those 3 scouts. So remember, attack, do damage. If your opponent's attacking you afterwards, focus on clearing his army. That's how he gets value. And if you had just done that, killed those 4 archers, you're clearly winning. You got more food. You got the skirms. You got access to your gold now. Life's good. Life's great, actually. Now we're going to be transitioning to castle. Okay, we can fast forward now. Not much is going to be really happening. This is perfectly fine. Our opponent's on 2 ranges. Ethiopian, super predictable. Not that it's bad, by the way. Like, it's predictable, but it's strong. So let's just stay on the skirms. I would even recommend you continue making skirms at this point, because against Ethiopian archers, they're very strong. And although shawarma riders are, you know, pretty good against archers, I think skirms are good against archer plus pike. That's why I said earlier there's only one correct choice. If you go shawarma riders mainly, opponents can go pikes and they get the upgrade for free. So specifically against Ethiopians, skirms are better than knights or shawarma riders against their archer play. Against a civ like, let's say, you know, let's say an archer civ like, let me think. Let's say Armenians are going crossbows. They don't have anything too powerful there. So in that case, we can just go for a night rush. But Ethiopians are super predictable, but super powerful. In that case, go for the obvious counter and commit to it. So I'd want to see more skirm production. Great job. And focus on elite skirm first and get bodkin plus the leather archer armor. All of that is better than the shawarma riders you're making right now. Okay. We're up fast to the castle. We got the scout still in the back of his base. Actually, you're running around here. I think it might be taking your attention away from more important things. So I'd recommend you focus on the important things. Stick to the basics here. And you could potentially find those guys as well. It's good. Okay, we have a similar situation here. I want to see if you learned from what happened earlier. So, yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so happy this is happening. We're going to chase him with the skirms, right? I'm so happy this is happening. The shawarma riders can cut him off. And you can get value as he's running away. The same would have happened with the scouts in Feudal. Had we acted a little earlier, you would have been here chasing him, which is, you know, you get a little bit more value. But as you can see, you could chase him and you get kills. Same thing would have happened. Start a Feudal, and then you can always just run back and use that mobility. So good job there. Not the cleanest execution. We did lose a few units. but the right idea. Also, Elite Skirm needs to come in, my brother. Elite Skirm is like, oh no, Siege Workshop is not needed. Okay. All right, I got you, man. Don't worry. I got you. Elite Skirm is a much better choice than a Siege Workshop here because we already invested into the skirms. So like if you lose your skirms now, my question is, why did you make them in the first place? Just for Feudal Age? But then you continue to make them on the way up. So you got to ask yourself that question, you know? And take it from me, Elite Skirm, especially with the last armor and Bodkin arrow, they're really insane against crossbows. Like really insane. They're better than Siege in most cases. So I would have loved, like in this position, I feel like Blue has a lead. I think you would have won the game if you went Elite Skirm plus upgrades on the spot. I think your composition is way better. Shawarma Rider plus Elite Skirm, that completely destroys Ethiopians. Completely. And now you're in a pickle. And now you're focused on like the siege. You're relying on the siege, which is slow. You can defend, but then he can run away, and then you can't chase because you got this, you know, the scorpions. But if you had Elite Skirm, you can actually chase him away and get a lot of value. I can tell you're putting a lot of pressure on the raids, which I think is a really good thing, by the way. I commend you for that. And you have really good unit control as well. So I'm very happy with your raids and your cavalry control. And I think that's, yeah, that's really high level. Like, well done on that. Really good job there. Super, super good job. Keeping them running around. Yeah, you're causing so many problems to your opponent by doing that. Like, look, everything's idle here. And like, the economy is a mess for your opponent. Probably because you're running at his base. So really good job there. If you can tighten up the defense at home, or like the army composition and decision making at home, while doing that, you can climb in no time. 1600, 1700 for sure. All right, I'm happy you saw this game because like Elite Skirm, super good, and I'm happy I can put it out there for you guys to benefit from. Elite Skirm is sick. Now I'm gonna go for 4th TC. Great choice. No, there's no pressure. No reason not to go 4th TC. Taking some stone can help for a castle sometime. Rest collected is actually in our favor. Everything's going pretty much according to plan. Opponent's on 2 TC. He might try some fast stim shenanigans here. But his economy is nowhere near as good as ours. We're going to really pull ahead in the rest collected. I think we'll hit like 20k rest collected when opponent's at like 17.5. All right, we'll come back to that number. We're going to be at 20k and opponent's at 17.5. And that's a really big difference, right? So, okay, not much happening. We can fast forward. Opponent's imp. At this point, it is actually really important here. So when you're going for the 4 TC, right? This is a bit higher level kind of concept to understand. But like, if you're going for 4 TC, the only threat, I'll try to explain it as best as possible. The only threat is an early imp push from the opponent who's clearly on 2 TC. We saw him in low economy. So the best thing that you want to do is actually put a lot of army on the field to prevent him from coming forward. Because the way I see it is, if this army by itself is here, we can clear this army with castle age units easily. Like it's not hard. We can go all in castle, 20 shawarma riders, 25 skirms with ballistics. We easily mop this army. Even if it's Arbalest and help, we mop it. But the danger is if he drops a castle forward, like right here, and he's camping a hill, and we have to hit the castle, or like hit the units near a castle. So what we don't want to let him do now is come forward to the castle and just set up his siege on the hill outside our base. So at this point, don't aim to just go imp. Put some army on the field and look to clean up his army first if he's going to go for a fast imp, and then go imp only after that. So in this case, I would love to see you get a castle, get the unique tech to make your units cheaper, and then just spam, spam, spam. And I think that would be easily be a winning strategy. Castle here, good position on a hill. Keep in mind it could get trebbed down if your opponent's on fast imp, but we don't necessarily know he's on fast imp right now. We can only guess, so it's okay. It's a good castle. Once again, good micro. I know you lost a few units there with some teleportation, but you killed a few units and we're trying to run away. And now we see Bracer coming in from the opponent. So now the cat's out of the bag here. We know he's fast imp. So like I said, at this point, 60 villager lead. This game is very easy to win from here as long as you make the right decisions and you don't lose right now. If we lose right now, it's a big problem, okay? Well, obviously it's a problem we lose. But we don't want to take any big like damage done to us at this point. We got to be super careful. And opponent, yeah, he wants forward castle, so he knows. I did call this. He knows how good it is. He probably does this style often. Forward castle, and go for the army near the castle and play from there. It's a really smart choice from him, and we have to be ready to stop that. So like in this position, you have 1100 gold and a lot of foods. Also, this is the second game in a row. We're missing wheelbarrow, bow saw, and horse collar. So 100%, it can't just be forgetting at this point. Make sure to get those eco upgrades. I have a video on Patreon. I think you're a Patreon member. I'm not sure. This is obviously part of our coaching, but I have a video on Patreon talking about like the boom guide. All right, and although it's not a boom situation here, those same tips can apply to you. So definitely refresh on those tips. Watch me when I play gameplays. I'm always prioritizing eco upgrades. It's really important here. So you're suffering, even though you have a 60 lead because of the lack of economy upgrades. But even still, I think you should be winning. What you should do is just put all the stockpile onto units in the field. If that was, instead of resources here, 20 skirms on the field, for example, he won't get the castle up. But now we let him get the castle up for free, basically, which is definitely a huge problem for us. Going for 50C. So when I see this like 60 villager lead, or in general, you know you're on 40C, so you know you have a vill lead, just watch out for that early imp. Don't let him do whatever he wants in early imp, because that's the only position you can lose. If you survive early imp, you're basically guaranteed to win on your economy advantage. What's happening is that we're trickling in units and we're just taking like bad fights one at a time. And we're constantly focusing on raids, which I give you a lot of credit for. It's really good. This is the best thing you could be doing, is picking up reinforcements here. So great job with that. Seriously, once again. Just needed a little bit more in defense. Like, I wish you were here, and you can message me on Discord afterwards. I want to know why you didn't go elite skirm in this game. Because it felt like the perfect elite skirm game. I know it looks like the shawarma rider is enough against the arbalest, but like the truth is elite skirm is actually just much better. And the best thing is both at once. The elite skirm and the shawarma rider, it's like the Ethiopian nightmare. They can't deal with it. At this point, you're trying to raid, do whatever, do the best you can. Truthfully, he actually doesn't have a lot of vills, so it's not really a matter of raiding. It's really just a matter of like damage control at home, which is what we need to do. You try to get the imp first before fielding an army, and watch, when you get the imp, there's gonna be no time to do anything. This is a very classic mistake. It happens all the time. Early imp is super deadly. Oh, good shot though. Okay, and this is one last thing to talk about. So instead of trickling units like this, okay, mass them up at home. Just mass all your units. Take damage, give ground, no problem. Lose half your base. It doesn't matter. But build up enough army to at least clear him, okay? So next time you're in a similar position, remember these words. I don't care if you win or lose. I just want to see you clear his main army, all right? So focus on doing that. Mass at home, give up ground, take losses, doesn't matter. Go to the back, expand. And mass up enough units to at least clear his main push. Make that a goal of yours. Because oftentimes what happens is, once you clear their main push, they're dead. Even if you took a lot of damage, your economy is still miles ahead of them. So had you just massed from the start, push back with 30 riders, one shot in Imperial Age, no problem. Yeah, you could have easily like pushed them back, and you still have 30 vills. So you just have to like get that one fight oftentimes. And at this point, we've been getting pushed for 20 minutes, or not 20 minutes, but more like 5 to 8 minutes. So we suffered a little bit too much. So at this point, it's rough, but I mean, you can see the numbers. It's still close. All right, going for the fight. And, as soon as you have a decent amount, that's a decent clear up. Imagine if we had, instead of 15 there, you had 30. Like, if you have 30, you win the fight. And you push back the trebs. So if you had not wasted the first 10 or 15, you'd have maybe even 40 or 50 at this point. You'd easily clear this up, easily get 1-2 trebs, and easily push everything back while raiding the opponent. But by trickling in units on defense... Oh, this is the cleanup. We got the trebs. Not bad. That's a little too late at this point. But yeah, the issue is, if we keep trickling in units, we don't have the army to ever push back, and we stay stuck on defense, sadly. Stuck on defense for too long. Alright, at this point, we'll just fast forward here, but yeah, game is over. GG well played to both of you guys. I think you did a lot of things right this game, Mr. J-Tan, but had some fundamentals wrong. And if I can recap, the biggest problem this game and the last even that I reviewed of yours, it's just like the eco upgrades. You need to get those in. It's like there's no excuse for like 49 minutes, no bow, no horse scholar, no wheelbarrow. Even your opponent is lacking, and he's got much more than you. So definitely keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for those eco upgrades, and keep in mind those Imperial Age concepts that I talked about. And under no circumstance can you let your opponent get a forward castle when he's up to imp. That is the worst thing your opponent can do to you, okay, when he's going for the fast imp. So get the army down on the field and prevent him from getting the forward castle, or let him get it and try to get imp in a similar time yourself to defend it, or plan an all-in castle to all-in castlage. So even though he gets the castle down, we can then push him back with a lot of army and surprise him. Focus on getting that one big clear up. Do not take small engagements. That's what he wants, since he has army first, economy second. You have economy first, army second. Wait till you get your army, okay? All right, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it on YouTube as well. J10, I hope this was helpful for you. And like I said, message me on DMs. Send me a private message why you didn't want to go scrims here. I'd be interested to have a chat with you about that, and we can talk about it. Thanks so much for watching on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.